Hello, hello! Welcome to my travel channel, and if you've seen some of my other videos, welcome back. My name is Barefoot Jeff. Be sure to hit that subscribe button below, and then over to the right there's a little bell notification. If you hit that, you'll be notified when new videos come out. We do have new videos every Saturday, so look for those. And also, if you do enjoy these, please leave a comment, hit the like button, and be sure to share with your family, friends, dog, cat. It's one way that would grow the channel. All right. Alright, well, in this video I want to talk to you about one of my favorite countries in Southeast Asia, Thailand. And one of my favorite things to do is going island hopping. Now if you stay to the end, I'm going to tell you how you can get all the way down from the mainland of Thailand all the way down to Malaysia going island hopping for less than $500 a person per couple. Be sure to stay to the end and I'll give you that really helpful tip. Now let's get started. You can take boats down from the mainland down to Malaysia. You could do it in a week. I recommend either 2 or 3 weeks. I spent a month going through them all and I hit almost all of them, so it just depends on the amount of time frame and your budget. There's 2 places that you can start out at. You can either start out in Krabi, which the Kalong Jalad Pier, stuff to do in Krabi. They have the night market there. It's along the ocean, so there's a lot of restaurants and shops and things like that. Plenty of places to stay. Don't worry about hotels, there's tons of them there. I've done this route 2 times. I've gone out of Krabi, and then the other one is you can go out of Phuket. So you can fly into either of those locations. International, you can fly into Phuket from just about anywhere in the world, and then Krabi you can fly in from Bangkok, so just depending on where you're coming from. Alright, so one of the first islands that I'm going to talk about is Koh Ngai. So coming in from Krabi, you can get a boat for about 150 baht, which is about $5, and all these islands are in the Andaman Sea, which is kind of west, well, it's west of the mainland of Thailand. The Koh Ngai is a beautiful island. It's not real touristy. There's a lot of rubber plantations, dive sites. You can get a hotel there, 3-star to 5-star, anywhere from $35 to $50. I advise definitely go there before it does get touristy, and then of course the prices go up and you just don't get the same experience. Now getting from Koh Ngai to Koh Phi Phi, it's a little over an hour. There's only one ferry company, so the price is rather steep, not compared to Western standards, but it's about 1,500 baht. It could range anywhere from $40 to $50. There are other ways that you can get there cheaper. You can just skip Koh Phi Phi or skip Koh Ngai. Koh Phi Phi is, there's a lot of limestone cliffs. It's a beautiful island. There aren't any cars on it. It's more of a party island though. It's where the movie The Beach back in 2000 with Leonardo DiCaprio was filmed. It is a beautiful island. One thing I do suggest is going to the top of the island early morning for sunrise, and you can see a view of the whole entire island. It's nice and quiet. If you get up there early, there'll be a handful of people there. Highly recommend that. And I met some great friends there on the island. We went out and had some drinks in these buckets. It was a lot of fun. Still stay in touch with them on Facebook. They're from Europe, and it's a great place. The next island is going to Koh Lanta. Koh Lanta is actually one of my favorite It's one of my favorite Thai islands. It's a very large island, so you will need a vehicle, either rent a motorbike or a car. You can use the taxis, but it's hard to kind of get around in a timely manner if you want to see a lot of things. I've got a friend there that owns a bar called Why Not. You should check it out. There's a couple reggae bars which are great. It's a beautiful, beautiful island. There's a national park at the very end where you can see some monkeys. Beautiful view overlooking the cliffs. And I would probably stay there at least 2 of the nights. Koh Phi Phi you could get by with 1 night, maybe 2, and Koh Lanta at least 2 nights though. There's a lot to see there. Alright, now from Koh Lanta there's the Trang Islands. There's 3 islands. Koh Mook, Koh Ngai and Koh Kradan. Those are all next to each other. So once you get down there, you can either stay on each of the islands, which I did, or you can stay on one of them and do some day trips. It's up to you on that. Most of them, I think all of them, don't have vehicles on it. Interesting story, when I was on Koh Mook, I took off and went over to Koh Ngai, I think it's pronounced, and realized I got dressed to go out, and I was wearing some like white, I guess pants you could say, like linen. They weren't linen though, and a shirt similar to what I'm wearing right here. And I was getting ready for dinner, and then realized I didn't have my wallet, my money, passport, anything. So I hid that in my room pretty well back on the other island on Koh Mook. So I called over there and told them I was coming over. They were asking where I hid it, and I was like, no, I don't think so. So anyway, I was kind of frantically trying to find a ride over there on a long tail boat. Did find one. The sun was coming down too. So we went over there. They wouldn't let me into the room until there was a French couple that was staying there until they got back. So I had to wait till almost really at sunset for them to get back there. Got my passport, got my money and wallet and everything. Then also while my boat driver was waiting, I bought him dinner, of course. So I get back to the island. It's totally dark now. Get back to Koh Ngai, and I'm coming up. The beach is lit with all these tables for people going to dinner. They've got a fire show kind of getting ready to start. And here I come in, and I got my pants rolled up because this boat, they don't have a pier. So this boat has I'm kind of wading, it's a long tail boat, I'm kind of wading through the water coming up there. People, that whole night people were asking, said we looked like coming out of a James Bond movie coming up there like that. It was, they were wondering where I came from. It did look a little strange. So while you're at these 3 islands, there's a really cool thing to do. Go to Emerald Cave. I think it's right off the coast of Koh Mook. It's a little day trip, and you actually take a boat to it, and then you kind of wade through, and then you end up in the middle of this cave with the sky being exposed, and there's all these beautiful like jungles, and there's a beach in there. Absolutely gorgeous. Definitely recommend doing that. Now Koh Kradan is one of my favorite islands of the 3. So if you're going to skip an island, make sure it's not this one. Koh Kradan, I've been there a couple times. There's a little Italian restaurant owned by an Italian guy. He has a bunch of bungalows. I stayed in one of the bungalows. It was like, they range from $10 to $20 for a night, right on the beach. The ocean's crashing at your feet. And I've been eating Thai I've been in Thailand for about a month, I guess. And I've been eating Thai food every day, and to have some Italian food, he imported everything in, was great. It was a nice little change. I told him I was going to sit there for a while. I wanted 4 or 5 courses, kind of a wine, salad, entree, dessert, after dinner drink, coffee. It was a wonderful night. The island's beautiful. You can walk around the whole island in probably an hour or so. Some beautiful beaches on the other side. It's definitely my favorite. Well, I just got off a boat with about 15 or 20 people coming from Koh Kradan, and I'm the only one that got off the boat. It's going on Lipe, which I'll be there tomorrow and staying one night. But since nobody got off, I'm thinking, Wilson! I don't know. Luckily, it's just one night. I think I came here 2 years ago, but I can't recall yet. I'll have to figure that out once I get ashore. But anyway, it'll be fun. And make it an adventure. It always is. And there are some places to stay. There's another long boat. It's a few hours south of that, and had a great time there. It was actually, when I was coming up on the island, it was starting to rain, and I wasn't sure if that was on my second trip there. I wasn't sure if that was the island that I was thinking of, and it turned out it was. And I didn't have a place to stay. Most of these islands, I don't book a room until I get to the island. I check them out, and during low season, you never have to worry about that. High season, I'm not really sure, because I've done the trip twice, and usually do it around the November time frame. I remember one thing on the island. There was a a school there, and they have a soccer field. It's right on the ocean, and there's some kids there. They're great. They all had their little uniforms on. Also, while I was there, I ran into like a iguana. It kind of looks like the Komodo dragon. It was pretty big. I guess it was about 4 feet long. It was right outside my room. It was kind of neat. So from Koh Bulone, I took the boat down to Koh Lipe. Oh, also one thing I didn't mention, and I'll mention it again at the end, is that these are water taxis you can take to each of these islands. So some of them come several times a day, some once a day, and it usually runs around, I'd guess, anywhere from about $20 to $30. So it's relatively cheap to get from island to island, and it can vary in length from half hour to hour to 2 to 3 hours, just depending on, or if you skip a bunch of them, they could be longer. So going from Koh Bulone to Koh Lipe is, it's not a big island. It's one of the last ones before you get to Malaysia, basically, and it's got a little bit of a party island. They got a nice walking street, a lot of restaurants and bars, and it's more social, I guess more populated as far as tourist goes than some of the previous ones I've been talking about, except for Koh Phi Phi. And it's a walkable island, but you can also rent a bike. I couldn't find a scooter rental there, which I was surprised. There's not a lot of roads, but there's some hills there that are pretty tough. Well, I'm on Koh Lipe, and it's been beautiful all day riding a bicycle around, but a storm is coming in. Just had a wonderful shake though, and but that's the name of the place. So I'm gonna get on my bike and head out of here. Alright, so from Koh Lipe, the last island you go into is Langkawi, and that is actually a Malaysian island. Note, though, that there is a 1-hour time change. So where that comes into play is if you're going to decide not to do anything touristy on that island, you're going to catch a flight back to the mainland. Don't miss that flight. I did that one time. I mentioned that in another video, and luckily there was another flight an hour later. But anyway, Langkawi is a very, very large island. There's some golf courses on it. Definitely would want to rent a scooter or rent a car. There's a lot of beaches, some waterfalls, there's diving. There's lots to do. It's definitely worth checking out. And from there, you can take a flight over to Kuala Lumpur. Also, the flight over to Kuala Lumpur only runs about $50. And now I want to tell you about my tip and ways to get down through the islands. So to do it in a week, you're gonna have to skip a couple islands. Some islands you could spend 2 nights on and some 1 night. But there's a lot of bungalows. You can do it in November, the rates are low, and food, just eat the local Thai food, don't have that Italian food, a little bit more money, and you can do it for pretty cheap. I recommend at least 10 days to 3 weeks. 10 days would be the minimum I would recommend. And once you take that flight to Kuala Lumpur is a major city in Malaysia. You can take your flight back to the States or to Europe or wherever you may have flown in from, or you can go back up to Thailand, AirAsia. Flights are cheap. AirAsia is based out of there. Well, that concludes my trip and island hopping through Thailand. I hope you enjoyed it, And as a reminder to hit that subscribe button below, and then to the right of that there's that little bell that notifies you when each video comes out. We do have new videos every Saturday, and if you did like it, be sure to hit that like button and share it with your family and friends. It's how we grow the channel and live life barefoot and see you on the beach.